fell to the red room 'cause she was there. But I don't have the lovely hair or Billy Duffy with the equally lovely hair. My name is Benedict. Welcome to this video. Now, there is a certain amount of comedy involved with this video, so please understand that I'm overplaying the hand of the situation somewhat. But it's not a video that I want people to dismiss completely because I am pointing to truths. But I've chosen comedy and overplaying to try to help people to not get bent out of shape about it. So if you want to get bent out of shape about it, please have a look at yourself first to ask yourself, why am I getting bent out of shape at this, which is there to try and help me? If you don't like it, just don't watch it. All right. Haven't fully settled on the title of the video, but for the moment it's How to Terrible Mix. Deliberately broken sentence, the whole lot. This is a parody of the kinds of things I keep hearing over and over. Doesn't matter the genre. None of this is anything to do with genre. But this is a kind of mixes I sort of keep hearing. This 30 seconds you probably wish you had never experienced. We have almost all of the massive mistakes that people make all in one spot. There is just no real way to tell what that song is trying to do at all. And it's been overmixed to try and solve that problem, and then it's been overmastered to try and solve that problem, which actually exacerbates the problem. You know, people think, oh, well, that'll solve it, that'll make it, big and dynamic and exciting. And as you hear, it has all the dynamics and the excitement of a Hasbrick. It's not working very well. So, unfortunately, my Grammy-winning song is probably not going to win anything except maybe a Darwin Award, and that is appropriate. So let's look at some of the problems. The first overarching problem that we have is a terrible construction, in the sense that we can hear that everything is just hammering away at once, and this is not particularly helpful. If we start muting things... Oh, that sounds okay. And yet when we unmute things, oh, not okay at all. So what we can tell from this is that we have just too many things piled on top of each other and not pulled out into an arrangement. So we can tell that that works quite nicely. If we mute these and then open this back up, it works again. Now, there probably are some issues with regards to chords and tuning and what have you, because I have been uber lazy and used nothing but the most low-hanging fruit Rex loops that I could find, which in itself is a construction problem, because they are thoughtless. And if they're low-hanging fruit and obvious and apparently blammin', then everybody will have used them already. You don't want to do this. You need to think a little bit more carefully. So we see here that if we were to take our piece and arrange it, we've got a section where we can have drums and guitar. We've got a section where we can have drums and thing. There's also the vocal thing. Yeah, baby, 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 baby. They probably need a little bit of help, so let's... I love you, baby. It's always going to be impossible to make these great, but we can separate our parts out, which means that instead of having 30 seconds of unlistenable music, we can extend this into, well, if I've got, say, 2, we can extend it into a minute of vastly more listenable music, just by saying, rather than trying to do everything on top of everything else, let's separate it out. Now, I'll trust that you know how to use your DAW enough to do that, to be able to copy and paste, control, drag, what have you, to create more space in your arrangement. But our construction is actually the beginning of our problem, in the sense that there are things there that just don't work together. They work alone, so we've gone, yeah, but then they don't work together. We've really got to deal with that. We also need to deal somewhat carefully with our lyrics.
Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs.
We have some problems with that, and I'm not talking about the singing. I made that up on the spot in 2 passes, 1 for each section. We've got some problems in the sense that we've got pointless repetition. We've got we've got cliches, but no purpose for these cliches. Ain't no river deep enough, ain't no mountain high. Might be cliches, if I could get the words right. Ain't no valley deep enough, ain't no mountain high enough. Whatever they words are, I'm sort of getting caught between, I think it's a Marvin Gaye song, one of those old classic sort of soul doo-wop type songs, and a Randy Travis song. But they're cliches, that are working because they are being used as part of a richer, deeper song, which actually talks about something to do with the human condition. This doesn't talk about anything to do with the human condition, just tries to use a few cliches to be obvious. So your vocal is never going to work, and as long as your vocal never works, the song won't work. It'll fall in a heap. So find a way to tell some kind of story. Again, story doesn't have to mean I woke up Sunday morning, blah, 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 blah. It's not literal. Why do we love this baby? Because it's like this small and got huge eyes and looks like Yoda? Why? Because she's got like quadruple Fs? Why do we love this person? We've got to build in some sort of thing that's more than just empty cliche so that we can engage people inside this story. Hotel California, nobody rightly knows what the story is, but it's incredibly engaging. So vocally, we need to sort that. We really need to sort that. Getting a singer who can sing might help. The next thing that we've got is moving into the mix arena. Once we've got a better construction, everything will flow easier. But we got some serious problems with the mix.
Yeah, yeah, baby.
Now that's just turning the reverb off alone. I hear so many things that are over-reverbed. Now I love lots of reverb, I really do. But this is just kludged with it, because what's probably happened here is this person's listened to their vocals.
Baby, 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 I love you.
Oh, that sounds better. Of course it does. And it needs it. It needs all the help it can get. But the problem is it's not well set up. So having one huge reverb and jamming lots of everything into it is not going to get us there. So the other solution that I see is that people say, oh, we won't have any reverb at all. We'll have such a tiny reverb.
Party baby, party, party baby.
But the problem we've got here is that
Party, 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 party.
the mix sounds like it's here and like jammed up against my face with nasty sticky tape. Get a lot of sticky tape and stick it to your face and see how good you feel about it. It's a real problem here. The reverb, when poorly used, will cause you immense amount of problems that you'll try to overcome. It's then overmixed in that, and it's nothing to do with the faders here, but it's overmixed in the sense that everything is trying to be present at once.
Yeah, yeah, baby.
Look, we can hear every single part equally, and that's not good. It's giving us no sense of perspective. When you go see a band, assuming you go see a band or you see one apparently performing live on your television, your Netflix, you find that the singer tends to be standing out front. The guitarist, bass player, what have you, tend to stand a little behind. Then you've got the drummer and the backing singers. So there's a sense of hierarchy, which helps us to make sense of focus. And the problem with these, everything is perfectly equal. Oh, look, I soloed everything and I made it a wonderful sound and made it equal and pushed it right forward, solved my problems by panning everything as wide as possible, is that there is no focus. So when you listen to this, especially with all the parts in, your brain's just going everywhere. It doesn't know what to pay attention to. Therefore, it wants to pay attention to nothing, which is the wise solution. It is then horrifically overmastered. Look at our levels here. If it wasn't for me pulling back the final master, it would be pinned, as in it would be hitting the peak stops, and we would have about a crest factor of about 4 dB. I don't know what that's in LUFS. I have no care whatsoever in the world for LUFS, but it's going to be terrible. So if we don't whisper for the rest of this show, then YouTube's just going to punish me horrendously for this overloud, undynamic music. It's going to turn this whole program down. So if you look at the right-click stats for nerds, you may well find that this program has lost quite a lot of decibels as a result of this horrible, horrible overmixing and overmastering. They are our problems. So how do we solve that? Well, I've already given you a lot of the solutions. The first part is that when we compose a piece, we've got to have a sense of what it is. If we write a whole pile of backing music and then try and jam words on it, it's entirely possible those words aren't going to connect. Okay, fair enough. But it does get done, but often that's by people who've already got experience in songwriting. It wouldn't much matter which way Bono and U2 did lyrics and music because they know how to do it already. My suggestion is, if you want to sing a song, you're trying to tell a story, you're trying to expose something about the human condition. So get your chorus preferably done first, so that you've got the catchy bit. Because you hear here how I've almost got the same catchiness between verse and chorus. There's nowhere to rise. And then use your verses to fill out the story. Explain why we love you, baby. What's special here? What's the problem? What's the good thing? You know what? Give me some reason to engage with this. So get your construction and then separate your parts so that they work together. There is a reason why songs often work in an A, B, A, B, C, B, B kind of a format. That's your classic rock song. So you've got the intro, which is really the first verse. You've got your chorus, your verse. Then you will have chorus, the C bit, which is where Slash hops up on the piano and goes diddle, and then you go back to chorus to fade. That's one of many possible constructions, but it makes sense. It works. So have some sense of the structure of your piece. Once you've got that separated out, again, hear the difference here between everything at once or let's get rid of we've now got a focus and a fair amount more clarity inside this mix. So arrange things so that you've got that backwards and forwards, and don't just have this, in which case we've got a 2-bar pattern over and over and over again. Is boring. It's pointless because we're going to switch off it by the third time we're hearing, because we're going to go, this never changes. There's no reason to stay excited. Gives us some sense of, oh, there's variety. Oh, that's a bit different. We're always looking to be stimulated, so you've got to provide variety. So put the extra time and effort into writing. It's really important. Otherwise, your song's just going to struggle and then you'll overmix to try and solve that problem. So construction and lyric. Reverb. Let's move into here. Now our reverb, this mastering has to go. It just has to go. We'll turn this off. We'll come back and we'll look at it later, but it's got to go.
Baby, baby, I love you. I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
Alright, not great, but it's easier to hear what's going on. We're still overmixed, which we'll come back to later, but reverb, we're looking at reverb. What do we got here? Well, it's a long haul. Yes, it's grand, but it does make a very long haul for the song.
I love you.
Now, you know I'm a big fan of mixing from the vocals down, but we've got to get a reverb that matches the whole song. Now, it needs to be quite a lot shorter. Let's try a rich plate. I do not like mixing with presets because they never work.
Party, baby, party, party, baby. Party, 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 take a lot of love. So party, party, baby, party, party, baby. Party, 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 take a lot of love. So I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
That's better. We've still got some of the bigness to help our synths and everything rise and to, well, help fill our vocal in.
Love you. Love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby.
Now we've got a reverb that, well, we're never going to get this to sound great, or good even, but at least we've got a reverb that's not just turning it into bloop. And the fact that we've pulled back our mastering means that we have now got enough space for our sounds to start to work together. See how just by pulling this back, this mastering, we have improved the clarity of the song even though we've got everything going at once. Make sure your reverb fits the piece. You want your reverb on a send bus, as in one reverb, and you send everything to it. Yes, somewhere down the track you might get good enough to start to put reverbs on separate things, but if you put a big reverb on this and a big reverb on this and a big reverb on this and there's no send, there's no room to bring them together. Again, little bug. Again, you're going to overmaster to try to solve the problem, to try to glue that mix together, and it's just going to turn into a brick. Get your reverb done really early. If you look at my 5-step mixing thing, which I'll pop picky up here, then you will find that I actually say get your reverb set up right as you're beginning the mix. I know some people were bent about that, but you know what? It works. The whole idea is to give a format that works, not a format that's more like, ooh, but it's like, because it doesn't work, and you die with it. You just look like a fool. You don't want that. You really do not want that. It's hard enough as it is to get listeners without you making a fool of yourself. So, reverb. Now, looking at our mix here, we can see a couple of issues. The first thing is nothing's named. If it's not named, you might go, but I'm the master of my mix and I know what's going on. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get your point, but you're wrong. Drums. Okay, acoustic drums, but we don't really need acoustic because we know that it's just drums. That's all our drums. So let's just call them drums. We've got 2 tracks here on our mixing board called percussion. How's that useful? Let's listen to what they are. Oh, okay. So, bongos. Tambourine. Oh, I forgot this before. In the song construction, we've copied and pasted and ended up with a section that has no playing whatsoever. You need to be really careful with that. Make sure that things actually work. One of the problems with our chorus here is that there's less tambourining in the chorus than there is in the verse. Now, maybe that's for the best, but I think it's probably not what you want to achieve. It's not helping the track to rise. So make sure that you've listened to and have thought about the value that something is adding, not just going, I'll copy and paste it there. Thoughtless. And it will show, because anything that's thoughtless actually gets shown to the audience. The audience hear thoughtless. And I loathe being presented with songs, asked to listen to songs that are thoughtless. because your audience is just going to go thoughtless. They might say, oh, it's wonderful, it's lovely, how talented you are, oh, yeah. But they will never listen to your song again. There is no win in that, unless you were just looking for short-term plays and accolades, pats on the head. But that's not music. So make sure that things are named. Guitar. Now we've got an issue here. Listen to our guitar. These are actually the same guitar. I see and hear this so often. Oh, but you're supposed to hard pan guitars. That's how you do it, man. It's how you get a wide mix, man. There's one guitar. You can't make it two. Do not clone things. Cloning it and panning it, no matter what you do, is just going to sound silly. This sounds better than this. Because cloning it and then doing slightly different things to each side merely makes it sound weird. And you might be like, oh, but I'm so clever, I've cheated the system. No, you've cheated yourself because you've got something that sounds weird. People can inherently tell. I just watched a video which was about, are you tone deaf? Are you able to hear? Do you have what it takes to be able to be a musician? And lots of people who believed they were tone deaf and would struggle with this get 10 out of 10. And his point ultimately, even though it takes half an hour to do this test, is that unless there's something wrong with you, we are all born with the inherent ability to understand music, which means that your listener is not as stupid as you think they are, possibly less stupid than you. So if you feed them faked tracks, they'll instinctively know. Even if they have never listened to an acoustic guitar in the real world, poor sad fools, this will sound wrong.
Baby, party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. So party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, party.
So get rid of clones. Don't make clones. They create a lot of problems for you. If you're creating clones to try to increase your volume, don't do it. Just look at gain, compression, and proper mixing. If you're creating clones to try to make more wideness, there are better ways of doing this. And that is, if we have, no, not that one, if we have our guitar,
Party, party, baby.
and we want to fill it out, we could chorus it. But honestly, it often makes guitars sound weird. So I would say either don't chorus it or chorus it very lightly. So with a light chorus and a little bit of echo, in this case using an LFO which is split left to right, we can try see what happens if we split our signal a bit left and right. Okay, cool. Now we have some serious issues with those at the moment, so we'll get them out.
I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party.
Our guitar now sounds far more natural than it did before with that weird cloning and over-chorusing, and has space around it. If we need to, we can always turn it up a little bit, but you'll get more cut with a natural sound than you will with an over-processed sound. Now, really, really important there. Don't clone tracks. And don't do weird processing to try and solve a problem. Drums have been over-processed, probably. I would definitely say they've been over reverbed. Well, that eases things a little bit. Oh, phew, so much better. See? Just a little bit of work here. Understanding that we're looking for clarity, and we're already better off than we were before. There's some heavy compression being put on the bongos. Maybe this is good, maybe it's not. In a sense, it's good. It is making it less poppy and giving us a thicker sound. But we do have just added too much level. Unless this is the Bongo Fantastic Band, then we don't need bongos up front. Let's look back at our drum processing using one of these one knob drum processors. Okay, I'll say this has done a fair job. I do think it has. And I'm not picking on any dev or DAW or whatever. I've just grabbed what I think are likely suspects, rather than just the usual Reason stuff, which for non-Reason users they might go, but I don't understand that. Tambourine. It's been put through fuzz, which makes it really loud. That's the section where there is no tambourine. So I don't mind the boost that the fuzz is giving it. We just needed to get it down in level. Here how we've now got a nice feeling rhythm section. Cool. We're going to avoid EQ altogether because we probably don't really need it. What we would commonly see is over EQing. So this guitar, let's say. Oh, but it doesn't sound. And that will never sit in the mix. Won't matter what we do to it. It has got this horrible boxy sound to it. Get rid of that, and it's got this horrible thin, papery sound to it. Let's grab them. We do better by cutting out just a tiny bit there, but this is not going to be an EQ tutorial. I've done that before. So we've now got a nice balanced feeling kind of thing. So we are mixing for balance and depth. I do have an issue with those bongos because they feel like they're in front of the drums. So what can we do with that? I want to move them back. It is a downside of the compression. Let's see if an echo will do the job for us. So you hear how when the echo comes in, it moves those bongos back a little bit more. Our tambourine's pretty forward, but I kind of get the feeling that that's probably where it's wanted. So we've got these bongos which are a little back, the tambourine which is a little bit forward, and then we're going to have our vocalist. But first let's have a look at this guy. This has clearly been processed in solo, and in many ways the processing is actually sort of good. It's heavy-handed, but I can see its purpose. So if we have no processing, I'm going to mute that guitar because this and the guitar don't work together nicely. Let's just have a look at making sure that our loop is where it needs to be. It is. So this processing is really heavy-handed. 15 or so dB of compression. But I've actually parallel mixed it. So we've got some of the original and the compressed working together. See person who said I was wrong for not doing it. It does have its purposes, I just don't mix like this. So here, this on its own is actually quite good. I don't know whether it matches the rest of the song, but in a sense, once we've separated out our parts, we're going to have this sort of acoustic part, our it kind of part. Is it a good idea? Maybe not, but at least they make sense on their own. So we can say that is okay. The next one, which is the equivalent, is this one. This is probably a difficult sound either way. So by slowing down our compression, rather than going, I just want to flatten it, which is what so many people do, we've got to look for the groove. There was a groove in the first of these, the verse one, that gave it that nice thump on the beginning. Hear how this now has a groove to it. It's a bit harsh on the old ears. Let's see if we can just solve this with a bit of echo. Where that should be, I really don't know. But let's also look at a little bit of EQ on this. Be nice if I could download 12.2.6. Feels like it's kind of like all frequencies that we want to be rid of, but nonetheless, we can improve our sound, which sounds just so forward and again like it's sticky taped to our face. So that is better. It's better than it was. Probably won't work with the guitar. No. Just won't. Let's get rid of, because remember this would have been done with the would have been done with a proper arrangement, but I didn't want to waste time showing arrangements. Now listen to this vocal. We have issues with the vocal. We're not going to get into, is the guy in tune? Because I'm not. I think I'm fairly well on time, thankfully. Or any of this kind of stuff about it is a good performance. No, it's not. It's horrible. But let's assume this is what we got to work with, so we're going to work it.
Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby.
Now, the first thing that's happened is that, well, it's been auto-tuned.
Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
So the question has got to be, is the auto-tuning really improving anything?
I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
There's no point at which I feel like I can have auto-tune actually improve this performance. So we're faced with the decision, and it's a very legitimate decision in this situation. Do we say, okay,
Ooh, I love you, baby.
this is like a comedy or a punk
baby.
song,
Baby, 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 I love you.
in which case we let that vocal be very, very natural. And so it becomes a little bit of a piss take. That's okay. I actually personally prefer it. Or do we say, I'm just going to hit this thing hard?
Party, baby, party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love.
People will say, oh, well, why don't we just do both at once? Occasionally where somebody's been a little tonally challenged, I have paralleled an auto-tuned or tuned against an untuned to help just nudge it a little bit more into range, but I don't think it's a great plan. So let's for the moment assume we are not going to auto-tune. Or let's look at what was done. There was this heavy-handed auto-tuning.
Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah,
An attempt to create a second vocal part by cloning. Remember, we should not be cloning. If you know you want another part, do another take. If you decide to do what was done here, and there are reasons you might do it, like probably better to do it with a vocoder, then at least a second take means that it's not going to be automatically the same as the first. Because when you clone things, they're exactly the same, so you have massive problems separating them. You may think, oh, but I'll just change the EQ or the formant or the mid-side something or other. You're fooling yourself, because people will still recognize that it's ultimately the same performance, so you're just effectively paralleling and doing this processing on this one and this processing on this one and this and it's weird. So if you know you're going to want a second go, and you probably should, any vocal performance that doesn't probably have 4 takes and a couple of other things, harmonies, backings, what have you, is probably lacking. So you can then take some of those extras and start doing stuff to them, and the great thing is that they will automatically separate themselves from what we'll call the lead vocal. So that's vocal number 1 up here that I've done. That's the lead vocal. If this were a new vocal take here, no, I'm not going to do it again, ever, then the reality is that when we put those two performances together, we would instinctively be able to tell that they're 2 separate performances. So it's going to, if I'm just putting them together as using one to back the other, then it's a double, and it's going to seem so much richer than putting literally the same thing on top of itself with a different kind of weird electronic processing that's just going to end up with phase problems and sound weird and whiny. Weird and whiny is enough of a problem with modern songs. Don't do it electronically as well. So in this instance, I took it, changed the notes, changed the formant slightly, panned them out and said I've got a harmony. I don't have a harmony. It's actually horrid.
Party, party, baby, party, party,
Baby, party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
So it's probably better that we go with a natural vocal. If your vocal sucks that much, find someone else to sing it. If you don't want someone else to sing your song, or you don't want to spend the money on having somebody decent to sing your song, then you might need to look at things. Because if you expect perfection and you think that you're going to do perfection by using electronic hammers, there is a serious thing going on in your head or your heart. As I saw somebody say something to somebody recently in a constructive criticism group, he said, "Who hurt you?" So at that point where you go, but I can't, ask yourself the question, who hurt me? Who made me this messed up that I'm unprepared to work with others and that I would rather sink my own battleship than give myself a chance of going off to war and killing Persians or whatever movie we've been watching recently. 300. So get your head back out in the sunshine so that you can make wise decisions. If that offends you, I'm sorry, but it's offensive to listeners to be given really poor quality material. And you know it's offensive to them because they never come back. Let's look at seeing what we can do with this vocal.
Love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you.
Just listening to the delayed signal there, I want to get a tone that's a little different. So I've brightened it because it could use some brightening and lifting. We know that this is most likely flat the whole way through, assuming I hit any useful notes at all. But we can use delays, modulated delays, to help pull something into tune. If we're somewhere and you're in tune, we can get there.
Baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby.
Now, this may not be quite tough enough for this job. So let's look at bringing in something a little bit tougher. My Echo Nest. Echo Nest is a collection of echoes.
Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby, party, party, baby, party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby, yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby, party, party, baby, party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby, yeah, yeah, baby.
So I've set up our initial delay. I've kept them sort of fairly close together. We want to keep this voice focused. I hear things mixed like this.
I love you.
Nasty. If you're taking your vocal and going, oh, I don't like this very much, so I'm going to clone it and send it right out there, don't. Your vocal should be in the center. How many George Michaels were there? 1. So when you're listening to a George Michael song, there might be a spread of vocals, but what are you instinctively feeling? 1 George Michael, not 12 of them spread electronically across the thing. He might have done 48 vocal takes for one of his songs. Oh, I want freedom from singing this song again. But when the mix is done, there's 1 George Michael that we hang on to.
Party, party, baby, party, party, baby, party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby, yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby, party, party, baby, party.
I almost sound like I can sing. It's amazing.
Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby.
So by using our echo, we've given our voice some sensor space. We've also filled it out without using a chorus that's just going to make it sound creepy. We do have this clone, so let's see if we can do something useful with it.
Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, party, party.
I don't think there's any future for the auto-tuning at all.
I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
The trouble is, because it's a clone, there's no difference there. So different versions of effects are not adding any usefulness at all. It's making it louder, but it's not actually improving it. So better to get rid of it and have one vocal that's, well, good, than to have clones of it, which are adding no value other than overmixing. Overmixing is your enemy. If you don't know how to do it and you are not prepared to hire somebody who does, then again, you need to be looking at your situation very carefully. You might go, oh, but I don't have the money. I get that, I really do. But there are lots of ways to build relationships with people who are good enough to do what you are not good enough to do yourself before you sink your own battleship.
Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
So we now have a working vocal.
You. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs. Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
That'll do, let's just get rid of that.
Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots.
Now, if I remember correctly, on the mix, I put in a lot of reverb here. And that's probably unwise. So let's pull that back.
Oh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, 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 I love you. Party, party, baby.
Kind of creepy.
Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
Now we've got something that, again, very loosely will say, that works. If somebody hears this and goes, you know what, that's kind of cool.
I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
That works. So let's do a quick kind of get rid of things that are going to conflict. The Astro conflicts, and well, nothing happens there, so it doesn't really matter. That conflicts, that conflicts. Now, remember that our guitar doesn't work very well with these synths.
I love you.
Brilliant!
Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you.
That's got a workable balance. Again, none of this is about you saying that you think that I've done a great mix or anything like that. It's just showing you this is a problem, this is how we fix it. And if you're not prepared to get in people who know how to do this, at least work out how not to overmix and overmaster, which brings us to our master. So, we have nothing happening at all on our masters. Leave the saturation in, that's okay.
Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, party.
That's a really natural mix.
Taking lots of drugs.
The guitar sounds really natural. So you can hear as soon as this master bus compressor, which is apparently one of the best recreations in the universe of this particular compressor, the SSL master bus, it's killing it.
Baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you.
That's better. Much better.
Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby.
Yeah, we've lost a little bit of level, but that's not the slightest problem. We've got a better groove overall. So we're going to say, yeah, that is good. EQing. I'm a EQ after compression kind of a cat. This is what we had.
Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
While it flatters this, we've pulled all the mids out. And that wasn't what we wanted to see. We might just want to reassess. So let's turn all of those off. Fair enough.
Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby.
I don't mind the idea of a little pointy something here.
Party, party, baby.
But I'm looking for punch. I'm not looking for bass. I'm looking for punch. There's a whole video that I've done on punch, snap, sizzle, mixing for drums and bass. If you want to understand that, go look there.
Party, party, baby. Party, party, party.
There is going to be a little bit of thickness in here somewhere. So let's see if we can find that. Okay, much nicer clarity. I'd rather do this than do the top because you'll hear the top will change.
Love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you.
Hear how the top changes? The treble clarifies a little bit as we've done this. So if we'd gone,
Love you.
we would have some serious issues balancing that back out.
Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs. Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you.
EQ done. Saturation we haven't touched. Now it's really just a case of getting our levels up. Again, I'm going to ignore luffs. I'm not a luffs kind of a cat. You can be if you want. I'm not. I work on the rule of having lots of dynamics will generally look like peak at 0 and therefore the RMS at 0, which is also minus 12. If you're getting that difference between the RMS and the peak signal, chances are you have a nice dynamic. Obviously, it depends on the piece. But if you're just pushing to be as loud as you can, especially if you are metering with nothing but peaks, then you will just push, 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 and have no thought about dynamics because you're not listening to the material. The 2 meters are there to help remind you. So we can see we've got 4 dB of spare here on our peak.
Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
Now our treble has automatically improved right away. I'm not using any stereo wideness here. I have some serious concerns with that. Now limiters, you'll largely be told turn on look ahead. I'm going to say turn it off. While there are some advantages to it, there are some serious disadvantages. It tends to dull your track. God created a far better solution, and it's called a clipper, particularly a soft clipper. And if you're in Reason, well, you've already got one built into the maximizer. Lots have. If it doesn't, then just get G-clip or something like that. So you're going to allow this to go over just a little. The 4 millisecond look ahead is just going to take you overs, the things that the limiter isn't quite fast enough to catch. I will even suggest, why not slow your attack down? So we are actually punching these things into the clipper.
Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby.
Let's push a little hard so we get lots of action
Baby,
here.
baby, I love you.
Now you will probably hear, if you can't hear it here, check with your own stuff, that when you put the look ahead in, so it's 100% limiter, 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 the limiter is clamping down hard and fast, and the material tends to sound a little deadened. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking to make this more lively, in which case this is why God invented clippers, particularly soft clippers. And that is, allow a little bit of soft clipping to
Party,
happen.
party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 taking lots of drugs.
Now that's sounding pretty good to me. I've got roughly the things that I'm looking for. This is at minus 1 dB, so we're okay. Normally I work at minus 0.3, but I knew this was going to be stupid. So I gave the extra allowance so that YouTube and what have you couldn't have a car. At this point, some of you will be going, oh, but I don't know how to do that. Well, either hire someone who does. You're watching me. Or people are going to go, oh, but I get a bot to master it because it's a Grammy Award-winning bot. Excuse me, but, oh, really? No. In my experience, the online bots do a nasty job. Really nasty job. They are like what we had when we came in. Shuttle back to the beginning where I play this song and notice how awful it sounds because it's overmastered. They will overmaster things. All they're doing is going to fire it back at you loud so that you go, oh, this sounds like... Yeah, but while there is a lot of overmastering in the industry, it's done quite differently from what those bots are doing. So don't use them. You might go, oh, but they're cheap. Yeah, there's a reason they're cheap. If bots could master better than Bob Ludwig, then we would have taken Bob Ludwig out the back and shot the guy and replaced him with a Commodore 64 back in the 80s. The processing power was there. We didn't do this for a very good reason because Bob Ludwig could do a better job than most other people, and even an Apple II couldn't compete with Bob. So use a person, don't use some random on the internet that tells you how great they are. Have a listen to the work and see that they are really delivering something better than what went in, not just something louder than what went in. Because I've heard some real ABs on people's sites that are like, You just made it sound worse and then made it sound okay, or made it sound bad. So please avoid bot mastering if you must go down the road of bot mastering. I have encountered one which does a pretty decent job so long as you've got a good mix in the first place, and that's the AI mastering, VST. That I found to do a very workable result. But mastering is not black magic. It is no different from what you're already doing. It's just you're working from a different frame of reference. Okay, that's it, done. So we've taken our, I should have kept an A, B, we've taken our track from unlistenable to this.
Ooh, I love you, baby. Yeah, yeah, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I love you. Party, party, baby. Party, party, baby. Party, 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 party. Taking lots of drugs.
Now, while it's still a incredibly dubious song, it at least is listenable. It has a working mix. We have not gone down the road of cloning things and messing up the vocal. The vocal has its own unique charm, and that we should play too. Tuning it would not have fixed anything ever. So it's better to go, okay, this vocal is kind of like a piss take. It's like a Sid Vicious of emo singers. And therefore, we've played to the strength. We've made the weakness into a strength. And so we start with this kind of like hands in the air rave anthemy, and then a piss take emo song. Hands in the air rave thingy, piss take emo song. Is it any good? No, it's not going to go anywhere in the charts, or at least if it did, I'd be so shaking my head, you know. It's like, yeah, watch the money roll in, but oh my God, all the better things I've done in my life, and that's what people are taking. But at least it's in a position now that it could play on the radio and actually be listened to and heard, unlike the monstrosity that it was before. Now, I know many of you will be like, oh, well, I don't want to have spent this time, you know, it's over an hour of my life and blah, 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 blah. Well, I feel sorry for you. If you don't want to take the time, not a problem, spend the money. Then hire somebody who knows what they're doing. You know, it's not rocket science here. If you don't want to hire someone that knows what they're doing, then you have to learn. And you can't learn by doing all those errors that we had at the beginning and going, that'll be good enough. And then when criticism comes through of going, oh, but I'm only trying to learn, and oh, there's no one else to help me. It's like, there is lots of people to help you. There's me here. I can help you. It's just, you know, really reassess. I'll go back to what I said before, what the other guy said before with this guy who was just coming up with excuse after excuse. He just stopped him in his tracks by saying, who hurt you? So ask yourself, when you're coming up with a million reasons why you're not going to do this like a proper professional. Sting hires people, even bass players. Sting will hire a bass player to play on his record, and the guy's a bass player himself, not too bad at it. There is a reason that people hire professionals. Professionals hire professionals because they're better than them. So if you are serious about doing your music as well as you can in the situation, great, hire in professionals to help you. Mark Knopfler, I don't know that he's ever mixed. No doubt he's been in control rooms, but I'm not sure that he's ever mixed or even tried to mix. Why? Because he knows he's better at playing guitar and singing in his unique way than he will ever be at mixing, because there's always someone, Bob Clearmountain or someone, who's going to be better at mixing than Mark Knopfler, so Mark does not do it. Okay, there's my advice I keep giving over and over again. If you are struggling with your tracks and hitting brick walls of people saying, well, this doesn't sound that very good, or saying, oh, wow, you're so amazing, and then you never see or hear from them again, this is probably what's going wrong, and therefore, you've got solutions to how to fix it. Hire someone. If you won't hire someone, then train yourself. First, train yourself to not do the dumb things that you have been doing that result in the mess that was at the beginning of this track. If you have any questions, particularly if you want to hire me, ask on down below. You have a great day.